Hey guys, it's Caden Codes here, and today we're going to be going over the Leetcode problem 2-sum. It's one of the most popular problems, and it's something that you are likely to encounter. So to go over just the problem real quick, so given an array of integers, say we have nums, which is an array like this, and an integer target, return the indices of the two numbers such that they add up the target. So essentially we just want to find two numbers that add up to 9. In this scenario, we would return 2 and 7 because they add up to 9. And we're going to assume that each input would have exactly one solution, and you may not use the same element twice. And we can return our answer in any order. So we're going to look at this solution this example a little bit more in depth, and conceptually come up with the answer to this. Then after that, we'll go to Leetcode and actually program the solution in Python. The solution we're going to use today is big O of n, which is the best time complexity we can get. So in this example, with 2, 11, 7, and 15, with a target of 9, we're going to return 0, 2. Why are we doing that? Because nums of 0, which is the first element, and nums of 2, which is the third element, 2 and 7, add up to 9. So now we're going to look at what the hash map really is and how we're going to use it to come up with our solution. So every time we iterate through this array, so it'll start empty, but once we start to put numbers in, they'll start to look like this. So we're going to be storing our C numbers. These are the ones we've iterated over. So once we iterate over it, we're going to store 2 in the hash map as a key, and then the index is a value, which is 0. So for 2, it's 0. For 11, the key is 11, and the index is 1. For 7, it'd be the key is 7, the value is 2, and so on and so forth. So we're going to go through this iteration by iteration and see how this works. So initially our hash map is going to be empty. And the first element in the array is 2. So we're going to get the difference between these two numbers. So the target minus our number is 7. We're going to check if 7's in the hash map. And since it's not in the hash map, we're just going to add 2 colon 0 to the hash map so we can use this in future iterations. And we add 2, 0 because 2 is the number and 0 is its index, because we need its index later, because for our solution, we're returning the index of the two numbers that add up to our target. So for iteration 2, our number is 11. So since our target is 9, we're going to be checking if negative 2 is in the hash map. Negative 2 is not in the hash map yet, so we're going to add our current number, which is 11, and its index 1, to the hash map. So 11 colon 1 will now be in the hash map. So now in our third iteration, our number is 7. And since our target is 9, 9 minus 7 equals 2. We already saw 2 in the hash map in the first iteration, so 2 colon 0 is already in the hash map. So our current index is 2, because we're on iteration 3. And we see by getting the hash map that the index of 2 is 0. So we're going to return an array of 2, 0. And that's our solution. So now we're going to go over to Leetcode here and actually get the coded solution to this. So we're going to have a function called 2-sum with self is just the class, but nums is the list of integers that we're given, and then target is the integer we need to return the two numbers that add up to that. And then we're going to return a list of integers, which is essentially just an array. So we first have our value map, which is we're going to initialize that to just be an empty hash map before we even start enumerating through the list of integers. So what we're going to do is we're going to enumerate nums so we can get the index and value while we're going through the loop. If we just do for value in nums, that's great and all, but we don't get the index, and adding enumerate here will let us access that. So the first thing we do in each loop is we're going to get the difference, which is essentially just the target minus the value. So for example, if our target's 9 and our value is 2, our difference will be 7. So now we're going to check if difference is in the hash map, which is value map. And if it is, we're going to return the current index, and then we're going to access the hash map value of the number that adds up to the target with our current number. That might have been a bit confusing, but essentially we're returning our current index, then the index of the other value that adds up to the target. And we're going to access that through the hash map. But if that's not the case, we're we're going to go to the hash map and add the current value of our iteration and assign its value to the current index. So now when we go through this again and we find if this value ends up being difference, we're going to be able to get that index and return it here. So as you see here, we're going to submit this solution. This is a little inconsistent with its runtime because I don't really know how Leetcode works with that, but it's faster than 90.79% of other Python submissions, and its memory usage is less than, it's not the best, but as you can see here, sometimes I get 50% for this, sometimes my runtime is like 80%, but it's definitely above average, and we have the best time complexity we can get. I hope you enjoyed. I'll be doing more of these for other Leetcode problems. Subscribe if you'd like to see that, and have a nice day.